I grew up in a home that was not a very good home. It was very explosive. My mom was not a very happy person, and there was a lot of yelling and fighting. So when I met my ex-husband, he he like showered me with gifts. You know, I was 16 and he already brought me an engagement ring. It was very, I knew what kind of a person he was. I knew his family was were not good people, and they were involved in a lot of illegal things. But he was giving me gifts, and he was telling me he loved me. So it wasn't that it was better, but like, here's my family, here's him. We talk about that a lot in group. It only has to be one step up, and you're suddenly free. So I moved out when I was 17 because nothing was changing in my house, and it was getting worse and worse, and my mother's outbursts were getting worse. She didn't like my sister and I. She talked about how much she hated us and wished we weren't born. So it was very hard to live in that home knowing all that. And then when I met my ex-husband, he was fun, he was nice, he was kind to me, he bought me gifts all the time, and I didn't have to go home to that, so that was a lot better. So I moved in with him when I was 17. After I moved in with him, it wasn't like probably 3 months after I moved in with him, and he sprained my arm. And 9 months after I guess it was about 11 months after I moved in with him. No, it was less than that. Probably about 6-9 months. He broke my foot, but I didn't have any place to go. I couldn't go home, you know. So I stayed with him, and I thought, you know, I grew up thinking if I can just do this, if I could just change, if I could be good, if I can be better, if I can be more understanding. So it was kind of the same thing. I thought if I could make him happy, then everything would be okay, you know. But that wasn't the case. The last time that he beat me, he was arrested and taken to jail. And it's kind of funny because he was arrested that time, and they were really serious that time, but that time all he did was break my nose. When other times he had choked me and the police had been called, he threatened me with guns, the police had been called. But it was funny because the time they arrested him, it was only a misdemeanor. What they charged him with, they started charging him with past abuse, that they could prove that the sheriff's office actually had pictures of me, that they had neighbors who came forth and saw me, and he was sentenced on something that they never arrested him on, but it was a felony when they got neighbors and they got the weapon that he used, and so he was sent to prison for 7 years.